Here are some of the weirdest episodes of the latest seasons. What would a Springfield without Bart look like? Well, we find out when Marge and Homer dream about a world where Bart wasn't a Simpson. Bart and Milhouse are reading to the kindergartners, and Bart gets up to his usual mischief by teaching the kids how to draw in the books. Homer and Marge lay into Bart, calling him out for destroying everything like their holiday picture.
There's no such thing as Christmas fangs!
Marge and Homer try to smooth things over with Miss Peyton, but she tells them that the kids loved being able to draw their own stories in the books. Even Ralph is getting into it.
This is the first book he hasn't tried to kiss or wear as a hat.
Marge and Homer worry that they can't see the good parts of Bart and are scared that they love him, but they don't like him, just like every relationship I've ever been in. They wonder what life would have been like without Bart before waking up to find themselves living their dream lives. Marge is the head vet at an animal hospital, and Homer is a Jumbotron operator.
I love my job.
This Bartless Springfield seems to make everyone's life better. Homer only drinks a normal amount of beer, and Skinner is actually cool now. Now I know we're in a dream. On their way home from getting ice cream, the Simpsons run over a young boy who can only remember his first name. This kid looks a lot like Bart. Without knowing where he comes from, the Simpsons agree to take him in. It doesn't take long for Bart to start causing mayhem at home.
Can we both admit I won this?
Everyone has to get used to Bart's style of living, from snorkeling in the shower, to jumping on the bed till it breaks, to catapulting poopy nappies out the window. Even Skinner is turned uncool by Bart's arrival. Only Maggie seems to enjoy Bart's behavior. Bart teaches Marge how to say "eat my shorts" before Bart burps up a Buzz Cola storm and goes outside to swing pickles at the Springfield sign, part of a balanced breakfast. Wanting to keep Bart out of the house, Homer takes Bart to the baseball stadium, where he teaches him how to use the Jumbotrons. Bart's a natural, and he even scores a 100 on the noisometer, something that not even Homer has done.
My God, can this be happening?
Marge is at the animal hospital, and her staff are getting on her nerves. When she finds that no one is treating any patients because they have too much drama, she snaps and tells everyone to
Eat my shorts!
All the doctors are shocked and return to being professionals. Bart finds Lisa building a diorama of the history of homework and convinces her to watch Itchy and Scratchy with him. Lisa doesn't think she'd enjoy it, but she gives it a shot. Turns out, watching a cat and mouse violently kill each other is exactly what she needs to loosen up.
You know, the human experience.
All the Simpsons realize that their life is better because of Bart's mayhem. So when it's time for Chief Wiggum to come pick him up by breaking down their door, I forgot this is America, they beg Bart not to leave them. Marge and Homer chase after Bart, crying that he won't be part of their lives. They wake up and realize it was all a dream, and they go wake up Bart to tell him how much they realize they like him.
Wait, what do you mean you just realized?
This next weird episode starts with the Simpsons visiting a museum exhibit on ancient Rome. Marge shouts at Homer for his lack of ambition when he tells her he skipped a management seminar.
At least there I know where the good toilets are.
The museum curator overhears and decides to give them a history lesson on Obesus the Wide. Guess who plays him? It's Homer, of course. Obesus starts out as a poor farmer's son, but after years of working out in the fields, his dad Obesus, grandpa because who else, sells him to Roman slave master Gordus Antonius.
Arrivederci, sucker!
Obesus and his friends are taken as slaves to Rome, where they're forced to become gladiators. Obesus is thrown into the ring against not Rainier Wolfcastle. Things aren't looking good until he remembers his training in the fields and wins.
All right, pal. Should we call it a tie?
Obesus catches the eye of his master's daughter, Marge, naturally, who saves him from death by hippo. Obesus keeps fighting, defeating everyone, and gaining the heart of Marjora. She gets pregnant, and when her dad demands to know who the father is, everyone admits to it to help cover for Obesus, even Mole Man.
I had sex to cut.
Obesus steps up. He's freed from slavery and marries Marjora, and as a wedding gift, Gordus gives Obesus control of the family laundry business. Nothing says I love you like a laundromat. Obesus almost frees his friends, but Marjora convinces him not to. Years pass, and surprise, Obesus runs the laundry business into the ground. Shocking, right? Marjora, ever the go-getter, tells him to fix it. His slave pals suggest a genius plan: collect ammonia from public bars, because nothing says clean innovation like collecting pee. Obesus steals the idea and becomes rich, moving his family to the rich side of Rome. His friends are wondering if they can be free soon, but Obesus ignores them.
The important thing is we started a conversation.
Marjora isn't satisfied with their rich new life, and she pushes Obesus to join the Senate, suggesting he can get into orgies with actual women.
They have those?
It sure looks like it. Obesia asks Emperor Quimbus for a spot, but gets shot down. Enter Senator Montimus, who offers Obesius a Senate seat if he assassinates Quimbus. Politics is a cutthroat world. Obesius, always the reluctant killer, goes through with it, stabbing Quimbus in the boat. Montimus crowns himself emperor and gives Obesius his shiny new Senate gig. Obesius, now living up to his name, is living the good life, rolling in dough and definitely not freeing his slave buddies. Marjora, still unsatisfied, tells Obesius to kill Montimus. Bartigula should be the next emperor.
You can even use the present I got you.
These names are getting out of hand. Even though Obesius refuses to do it, Marjora goes ahead and tries to poison Montimus. That doesn't work, but luckily he gets crushed beneath a column, and his brain is eaten by a lion. Bartigula the jerk takes over and does what any reasonable ruler would do, declares war on Neptune, builds a giant wall around Rome, and dissolves the Senate with acid. Good thing politics isn't like this today. Oh wait, Obesius decides to say something against Bartigula.
That's it. I'm taking a stand.
Obesius is sentenced to be eaten by lions. Father and son end up dueling in the gladiatorial arena, and they both die. Marjora, devastated, commits suicide, and Rome, well, burns to the ground. Quite the family legacy, huh? Back in the present, the Simpson family starts bickering over the moral of the story. The museum curator just regrets letting them in. Maybe next time he'll just let them browse the gift shop. The Roman gods are watching the Simpsons argument. Minerva complains about the quality of the argument, but Jupiter insists on sticking with it.
Definitely feels like they're wrapping it up.
But can this be as weird as Bart having a human brain as a best friend? From ancient Rome to human brains, the next weird episode starts with the Simpson family doing a classic let's cut costs by moving Grandpa into a smaller room at the retirement home. Because if there's one thing that says, we love you, it's downsizing your room. Bart and Lisa get roped into the fun of helping Grandpa clear out his extra stuff that no longer fits in his new tiny space, where Bart finds some of Grandpa's old war items.
Oh, it warms my heart to know my precious memories are going to someone who will cherish them.
Of course, Bart heads to Herman's store to trade them in for store credit. At the shop, Bart spots a human brain floating in a jar. And what does any self-respecting 10-year-old do when he sees a brain? He buys it, obviously. Cut to Springfield Elementary's cafeteria, where Bart puts his new toy to good use. He tells the kids the food is made from the brain. You know, light lunchtime entertainment. The place turns into Vomit Central, but instead of punishing him, Miss Peyton gives Bart a totally different kind of task, caring for the brain. Oh, and he has to journal about his experiences. The rest of the class gets to take care of eggs.
Now that's suffering.
Bart, being Bart, gets bored of taking care of the brain pretty fast. He's got better things to do. So, in a moment of pure genius, he asks Homer to babysit the brain while he hangs out with Milhouse. Spoiler, bad idea. Where does Homer take the brain? Moe's Tavern. No surprise there. At Milhouse's house, Bart can't get the brain off his mind. Random objects keep reminding him of it. When even Milhouse's stuff reminds you of a brain in a jar, you know something's off. Bart bails on Milhouse and heads home, only to find Homer brought back pickled eggs instead of the brain. Bart goes on a brain hunt, and where does he find it? In the hands of Kearney, Jimbo, and Dolph, who are plotting to blow it up.
Let's mess up this brain.
Bart swoops in to rescue the brain, and because this is Bart we're talking about, he names it Buddy. We've all had weirder friends, right? Buddy quickly becomes Bart's new bestie, and Bart starts treating it like a mini-me, complete with his rebellious attitude. Even after his school assignment is over, Bart sticks to taking care of Buddy, which starts to raise some eyebrows at home. The Simpsons, being the loving family that they are, begin to worry that Bart's new obsession with a brain in a jar might be, you know, weird. Homer hears everyone in Springfield talking about Bart's brain.
He's just weird, and not the kind with a diagnosis that we have to like now.
The family does what any family would do. They decide to isolate Bart, because isolation always fixes everything. When Bart catches the family sneaking off to church, they tell him he's being rewarded by staying home. But Bart shows up anyway, with the brain. Everyone in church starts whispering about how weird it is that Bart's got a brain as his best friend.
Bart is troubled.
Bart takes the brain up to the front of the church and proudly declares that Buddy is his best friend. But then, in classic Simpsons fashion, the label in the brain jar peels off to reveal it belonged to Corbin Everly, an accountant who donated his body to Springfield University. Bet you didn't see that coming. Bart's bubble bursts. Buddy isn't the rebellious sidekick he imagined. He's just some boring old accountant brain in a jar. Bart decides to do the right thing. A rare moment, let's savor it, and returns the brain to the university. Professor Frink, who clearly has some attachment issues, is thrilled to get the brain back. He even tells it how much he missed it.
What a weirdo.
Bart's short-lived friendship with Buddy the Brain comes to an end, but we'll always have the vomit-inducing cafeteria scene to remember it by. What's weirder, Bart's brain friend or the Simpsons turning into Roblox? On to the next crazy episode, where the Simpsons world starts spending too much Bobucks. It opens in ancient Rome, where a Ubisoft patented assassin turns some holy men into Swiss cheese. Get it? Holy men? Turns out it's just Bart playing a violent VR game while Marge is walking past.
Choke on your own junk, Petrucci.
Marge is shocked by Bart's swearing. Maybe she should hang out in a Call of Duty lobby sometime. Okay, maybe she gets the idea. Marge bans Bart from violent games and sets up the family's old, more like ancient, PC to play Roblox.
No infringement intended.
Milhouse shows Bart how to customize his character by using the in-game money Bobucks. Just use your parents' credit card to buy anything.
Even a dragon codpiece.
They discover that the old PC is causing the game to glitch, and they can sell the same pink mohawk over and over. The only time a mohawk has been this popular outside of a crusty punk show. Bart has the idea to set up an underground Bobucks scam in the school's computer lab. All they need are some nerds.
Nerds, we got.
Skinner gets berated for having test scores so low that the Chinese press is using them as proof of the decline of the American educational system. After promising Chalmers to make up a PowerPoint presentation by Sunday evening,
Don't ruin my weekend.
he discovers Bart and Milhouse's scam and threatens a strongly worded email to Homer and Marge. But Bart convinces Skinner to join in. Skinner, sad that the school is such a train wreck, imagines turning Springfield Elementary into a performing arts school. Can he not just use his B Sharps fame to do this? After a musical interlude that features Nelson in a catsuit and a reference to every musical of the last 20 years, Skinner tells Bart he's in.
I'm in.
The scam is going well, and the auditorium is being rebuilt. Skinner and Bart call Martin into the office to threaten him, not like he didn't have it coming, telling him that they don't want no,
Giant-ass snitches.
and giving him an A- grade. Would have been a mercy to just break his legs. Bart and Skinner share a rare moment of sweetness when they realize they're a team. Wonder how long this'll last. The kids are making the big bucks, but suddenly get attacked in the game by a rival gang.
It's an ice cream drive-by.
While Willie and his Highland Games builders are tossing the girders into place in the school auditorium, Bart tells Skinner about their new rivals, the Sunflower Gang. Skinner knows them, telling Bart they're a Montessori school. A Montewassa? Bart and Skinner attempt to reason with the leader of the Sunflower Gang, Truth Ann. Bart suggests splitting the game world up 50-50, but Skinner goes rogue and pushes back on the deal.
This is war.
And even pushes Bart out of the grift.
It's all in the game, son. All in the video game.
Things heat up between the rival Roblox gangs, including Nelson getting shanked by a candy cane. The catsuit and now death by a candy cane? The writers didn't like you this episode, Nelson. With their money gone and Skinner's dream of the stage crumbling around him, he makes a final threat.
I'm gonna show these kids something they have no idea exists. The real world.
Skinner drives a bulldozer, did he just happen to have one laying around, or to the Montessori school and is about to knock down their computer lab when Bart jumps in to stop him. He tries to reason with Skinner, but
They took Daddy's money.
Bart gives Skinner a heart-to-heart, reminding him that he's lame like unfrosted cornflakes,
But I want to be Lucky Charms.
and that walking away is the best thing to do.
I already rented the costumes for Susical.
Skinner drives Bart to Krusty Burger for a shake, admitting that his dream is over. Wow, downer ending. Did you ever think you'd see the day when the Simpsons writers took inspiration from Roblox? Although it can't compare to Homer eating himself in the next episode. Rounding things off with the weirdest episode, a Treehouse of Horror where Maggie gets possessed, Lisa discovers a creepy, perfect version of her family, and Homer cannibalizes himself. The Simpson family has been transformed into Halloween candies. Barterfinger Bar is on edge, afraid someone might take him. But the Marge Bar reassures him that he's always the last choice, even behind stale raisins. Tough luck, Bart. Other candies, like Nelson's Crunch and Kirkish Taffy, get taken, while an apple is upset that no one wants it because of razor blades. As if the health benefits weren't bad enough. Even Grandpa Simpson gets eaten.
Cigarette break!
When Halloween ends, the Simpsons are left on a shelf. A chocolate Easter bunny tells them that this is their fate forever. But the Oh Homer bar decides to start eating the bunny because, after all,
Chocolate doesn't feel anything.
cue the dark chocolate blood splatter on the wall. Happy Halloween, everyone. The first story begins with a direct nod to The Exorcist. In a temple site in northern Iraq, a Pazuzu statue is unearthed and, thanks to Amazon Prime, finds its way to the Simpsons house. Why? Homer mistook Pazuzu for pizza. A common mistake, I'm sure. After Homer sings a weird lullaby which causes all kinds of freaky stuff to happen in Maggie's room, the demon inside the statue possesses her. Things quickly go off the rails during a cocktail party when Maggie reveals her new demonic side by murdering Helen Lovejoy. Finally, someone did it. And exposing Dr. Hibbert's affair. As chaos reigns, Ned Flanders tries to exorcise Maggie, but instead ends up dead via toy car choking. Enter a Catholic priest who promises to take care of the problem.
If you can't trust a Catholic priest with a child, who can you trust?
The priest exorcises the demon, only for it to end up possessing Bart. The demon immediately regrets this decision, terrified by Bart's soul, which it declares to be more evil than anything it's ever encountered. Worse than working for David Schwimmer. Brutal, but fair. Next up is Coralisa, a spooky parody of Coraline. While Maggie is still recovering from her earlier possession by Pazuzu,
At least she never threw up.
Lisa finds a secret tunnel in her room, which leads to an alternate version of her family compete with creepy button eyes. Everything seems dreamy until they suggest sewing buttons over her eyes so she can stay with them forever. Okay, nightmare fuel activated. Lisa runs back to reality, but after Homer smashes her saxophone while killing a snake, she starts rethinking the whole button eyes situation. The Simpson family doesn't even notice she's gone for days. Homer suggests that Maggie gets her room and Bart takes her homework. That's some solid family love right there. Bart decides to escape to the alternate reality himself. Things escalate when the whole family ends up in the alternate world. Homer, in typical clumsy fashion, accidentally cuts off the alternate Bart's head while trying to strangle his own. Alternate Marge goes full spider monster and tries to kill Homer.
I think this marriage has finally gotten out of its rut.
In a twist of Homer logic, he strikes a deal to bring the alternate family back to the real world. The upside? Alternate Homer gets to attend parent-teacher meetings, and Spider Marge becomes the housekeeper. A win-win. Lisa decides it could have been much worse, which, knowing this family, is probably true. In the final story, Lisa warns viewers about how disgusting it will be, though if you've made it this far, you're probably not too squeamish. Homer is left home alone while the family goes on vacation. Things go south fast when Homer eats through all his food and accidentally cuts off his finger while grilling. In true Homer fashion, he doesn't waste it, he cooks it and eats the finger.
Hey, you ate you. You tasted great, you. Hey, you ate you. Hey, you ate you.
Homer quickly realizes that his own body parts are delicious and starts to eat himself. Despite invitations to lunch from Ned and other friends, Homer becomes obsessed with eating parts of himself. By the time his family returns, Homer's lost 20 pounds, walks with a limp, and is hiding his severed fingers under oven mitts. The dad bod takes a terrifying turn. Marge eventually catches Homer frying up his leg for dinner, and she drags him to an addiction counselor. But the twist? Celebrity chef Mario Batali convinces Homer to keep cooking himself for fine dining at Chez Homer, a hot new Springfield restaurant. It's not long before Homer is missing the entire lower half of his body, and Springfield's residents start to enjoy other exotic meats, like Barney Gumble and Comic Book Guy.
I call the brain.
In the afterlife, Homer casually remarks to Jesus that just like him, people are eating his body now, because if you can't laugh at your own cannibalism, what can you laugh at? And that's 5 of the weirdest episodes from the latest seasons. Like and subscribe for more videos like this one.